This is your Neepawa Town Council Debrief for the June 18th, 2024 meeting. This week, Council focused on public works and development, including rezoning for housing, street and sidewalk repair status, and extended natural gas service. As we head into summer, Council passes its regular motion that for the months of July and August, there will be one meeting per month rather than two, so the July 2nd and August 6th scheduled Council meetings will be cancelled. The meeting starts with a public hearing for a map amendment that would allow for the building of 5 duplex units in the former CN property subdivision. Several of the lots, which were originally zoned for residential single unit, have already been rezoned to residential 2-unit lots, so these new units will be similar to their neighbors. There were no concerns raised at the hearing from the province, the Regional Planning Office, or the neighboring properties.
Okay, do we have comments there? Building Inspector Ron.
Sure, I'll just read the bylaw, and it's bylaw number 3229-24. So it's a map amendment, the Town of Neepawa zoning map, attached to and being part of the Town of Neepawa zoning bylaw number 3184-18, as amended, is hereby further amended in order that lands described as follows. Lot 3, Block 1, Plan 33580, and Lots 5 and 6, Plan 65638, NLTO, in the Town of Neepawa, as shown, outlined in a heavy solid line on a map attached hereto and marked as Schedule A and made part of the amending bylaw number 3229-24, be rezoned from its current RS residential single unit zone to RT residential 2-unit zone. This application is to allow for the construction of side-by-side dwelling units is the proposal, or the proposal for the lots. The bylaw, the public hearing has been it's been circulated through its provincial comments. The report to council. So through all the provincial comments, through those that were circulated, there was no comments offered by the province. So regional planning has no concerns with this bylaw. Further to that, it was also circulated to the neighboring property owners in probably a minimum of 100 meters. And it was also circulated in 2 instances in the local newspaper. Our office has received no comments for or against at this time.
Okay, do we have any questions from councillors?
There are currently some duplexes in very close proximity to this proposed amendment, correct? Or this variation, correct?
That is correct, yes.
So it would be keep in line with housing that is currently in that neighborhood?
Very much so, yes.
Okay.
Both sides of it on that street are already currently RT, so
okay.
That whole strip would be consistent.
So it would be more of a question of correcting RS to match what's going on in the neighborhood currently.
That would be a good way of putting it, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Do we have anybody in the audience that wish to speak for or against this?
He indicated he was just here for information.
Yeah, I'm right next to the property.
Okay.
At 7 or 8.
Okay. Sounds good.
When I saw the 2-unit zone, that's no problem. It's not. We were just wondering whether there would be more than 2 units.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Yes, I think the proposal would be for five total buildings of 2 units each.
5.
Yes.
What's happening to the building that's there?
The last I heard, the plan will be to remove it. Yeah, it possibly be used for under construction as storage, but as it develops, the plan is to remove that. Yes.
Is there a hazard there at all? There used to
You're
be.
talking soil?
Yeah.
Very limited contaminants. Every report we've received back would suggest that the property is fine. The action we took at the time, though, was to say that anybody that builds in the duplex area along Crocus Drive would basically build either on slab or a very limited crawl space. Just for extra protection.
I think those used to be even smaller. One used to be a bulk station at some time, bulk chemical or fuel or something like that.
Fertilizer. Yeah.
Okay. Any further questions? Call for a second time. Anyone for or against from the audience? Call for a third time. Anyone for or against from the audience? Seeing no response, be it resolved that we now adjourn this public hearing at 7:09 p.m. Moved by Councillor Nadeau, seconded by Councillor Lisa Pottinger. All righty. Sorry, Lisa.
It's okay.
All those in favor? Be it resolved that bylaw number 3229-24, being a bylaw of the town of Neepawa to amend zoning bylaw 3184-18, be now read for a second time. Moved by Councillor Sicily, seconded by Councillor Pottinger. Any discussion? All those in favor? Carried.
Can I maybe just quickly for the audience, because they're gonna probably wonder what the bylaw is we're even talking about. This is the bylaw that comes out of effect of the public hearing we had earlier this evening, where McCutcheon Farms wants to basically amend the zoning of the residential single unit that is over on the property along the Crocus Drive over there in our CN property, so that they can create duplexes for the lots that are in between the 4 duplexes on the north and the 4 duplexes on the south. So this is creating consistency for the whole length of Crocus Drive, where they will all be duplexes.
Alrighty. Be it resolved that bylaw number 3229-24, being a bylaw of the town of Neepawa to amend zoning bylaw 3184-18, be now read for a third time and passed. And this is a recorded vote. This will be moved by Councillor Kosenchuk, seconded by Councillor Sicily. All those in favor? Carried. Now that we've got it rezoned, we can actually do the subdivision application.
So this is subdivision application 4437-24-8627. The applicant is Blake McCutcheon, but the registered owner being McCutcheon Farms. This is for a subdivision on the southwest of 331415, which we just did a zoning amendment for. It's lots 5 and 6, plan 65638, and lot 3, block 1, plan 33580. This proposed subdivision intends to subdivide 10 lots to build residential duplexes. The existing property contains a commercial building that will be removed. The property is currently serviced by municipal water and piped sewage. Accesses will be developed at the time the new lots are developed and will be onto the municipal roadway. So just to be clear, when it says 10 lots to build residential duplexes, that is 5 structures split by a common party wall to create 10 different units. It still will only be 5 structures. The proposed subdivision is located in an area that has been identified as having contaminated soil, and the applicant is aware of that and has been informed that the only type of building allowed for the area will not include basements, only crawl spaces. And that's precautionary measures we took, even though the information we were receiving from the province and the applicable department would suggest that there was nothing necessarily to worry about there. The applicant has already initiated the zoning bylaw amendment. We just approved that bylaw, and basically everything within our development plan and our zoning is suggesting that this particular subdivision meets all of the core requirements. So for residential 2 units, you need your lot to be 3,300 square feet in size and a 30-foot frontage. It meets all of that and exceeds it. The commenting departments did not have any concerns. Of course, the plan of subdivision will require Westland Communications would look for an easement, hydro and gas again, easements and right-of-ways. MTS easements as required, right-of-ways. No concerns from the Neepawa Area Planning District. And should council wish to approve this application to subdivide, that the zoning amendment be obtained. We've done that. And of course, the other thing I've added, that we would enter into a development agreement because the water and sewer still has to be addressed. Those discussions have been ongoing with McCutcheon Farms, and they're prepared to put that agreement in place as well. Any questions?
Okay. So we'll move on with the resolution. Be it resolved that we approve subdivision application 4437-24-8627 of McCutcheon Farms Limited to subdivide Lot 3, Plan 65-638 and lots 5 and 6, Plan 65-638 in Southwest 33-14-15 West, subject to the rezoning of the property from RS residential single unit zone to RT residential 2-unit zone, and the proponent entering into a development agreement with the town of Neepawa for the development of the property. Moved by Councillor Nadeau, seconded by Councillor Gerard. Any discussion? All those in favor? That is carried.
In council reports, there are no significant issues raised for discussion at the council level. Councillors report on recent town events, including the Habitat for Humanity Family Selection Meeting, the upcoming Children's Business Fair, the Hand AGM, and Paint with Pride. Councillor Nadeau noted that the Rossburn Subdivision Trail Association will now take responsibility for mowing the entire trail, and the onus will no longer be on the various municipalities along its route. Councillor Gerard advised council and the community that the upcoming tree removal at the county courthouse was a decision approved by the county courthouse committee, and only trees that are causing damage will be removed in order to preserve the lifespan of the building.
Neepawa Habitat for Humanity held their family selection meeting last night. There were several families in attendance. If you're looking for more information about eligibility, please contact Amanda Nottingale at Salvation Army or Marilyn at the town office. The second annual Children's Business Fair applications are open now. The Children's Business Fair will be held on August 15th at the Yellowhead Center. Space is limited, so watch for the marketing on the town Facebook page. You'll see posters like this out. If anybody attended the Children's Business Fair last year, it was amazing. There was 20 kids, I believe, and there was a waiting list. The products that these kids came up with was just unbelievable, so I'm very much looking forward to that this year. And I just want to touch on, I was able to take in part of the Filipino Heritage Celebration on Saturday, and just wanted to say thank you to our Filipino community. It was absolutely amazing. So.
Really minor. June 12th, County Courthouse discussion, follow-up discussion, and approve an expenditure for the County Courthouse. This is just as much to notify residents in the town. There's going to be trees removed on the front of the county courthouse that have been starting to cause some damage. So those cedars and that we see at the front of the building, that is the county courthouse board decision. It is not a town of Neepawa decision. So if you have issue with it, it is not a decision that has been made at the town office level. It is to do with the county courthouse, and it's in preserving the life of that important building to us. And if you take a look in our Neepawa sign there, not that many years ago, there was no trees really on the front of that building, and it really did show it out more than what it does today. So, but like I said, I just want to make the county courthouse will be spending $2,700 for tree removal, and it is not the town of Neepawa removing trees.
I'll follow that, not a report, but just a shout out. Speaking of tree removal, to the staff, public works staff on the weekend, was out bright and early after a weather event, cleaning up streets, making them passable. Still working very hard for that. There's still branches down around town, and people are allowed to move the branches. They can do their own. They don't have to call the town to do it. If it's on your lawn, or if it's on your boulevard, or if it's on your street, you're more than welcome to pull it to the curb. That's okay. Just a big shout out. Our staff on a weekend when they didn't need to be out were out working very hard. So thank you to them.
I did also attend on Sunday the Neepawa Area Pride Paint with Pride event, and just to know that the sidewalk did meet some of the things that we asked as a town. Without the white outlines they're now in place to ensure those of elderly that there won't be confusion as they're coming across those colored areas. But well-attended event, and it was great to see all walks of life there, and it's done and in place, and it looks great. It definitely adds some vibrant color in front of the Arts Forward.
It was so dull before.
It actually goes with the building now.
Yeah.
It was very tastefully done, and it looks fantastic. Yeah.
Manager of Operations Denise Kay updates us on the topic that's on everyone's mind, road repairs. the pothole patching equipment that the town has rented for the month was received and is at work throughout the town, and they will continue as long as the weather cooperates. If needed, and with council's approval, the equipment rental can be extended past the end of the month. The town has also reviewed bids for a contract to install new sidewalks and do concrete repairs.
Thank you. So we received our pothole patcher, and staff have been easing into it, and I think they finally figured out how to work it. They've got a rhythm set, so providing weather cooperates, they'll continue going around town and do as many as they can. I've given them the green light to work as many hours as they want, and hopefully get as many potholes done. I'll track to see how close we are near the end of the month, and if we have to extend the rental, I'll discuss that with you guys and see how we're moving along. But yeah, I ordered a second load of the aggregate, and I think we're on our 4th tote of the emulsion oil. So we've been going through quite a bit of material, so we're definitely patching. Yesterday, Public Works staff received training on our new vac combo truck. Supplier came out and trained staff on proper operation and some of the tricks and nuances of how to operate that truck properly.
Your lead hand mentioned the clear end on it so that you could make sure that you're taking out the solid stuff.
Yeah, they also...
He was just kept talking about that. So
they also brought another clear tube so that they could demonstrate the different jetting tips and the effectiveness of how they clean, so that the guys have an understanding of what they're doing depending on what the blockage is. So training was really worthwhile. Concrete we'll be discussing later on. Street sweeping will be going on throughout the summer as staff are available. We're kind of shoving staff in every direction because we're doing digs, and we're also, like I said, have a staff member in that contracted truck and also responding to plug sewers. So it's kind of a bounce around with all of our staff. Street line painting is behind schedule, but that's also due to the fact that we're spraying emulsion everywhere on the streets. So we'll wait till we have that patched up and try to get sweeping, and then we'll get all the streets painted up. One thing I've noted driving around is probably many people have that there's quite a few unsightly yards starting to pop up. So we'd ask residents to kind of tidy those up and mow your lawns. Some of them are getting a little high, so we appreciate that. And as Councilor Conger mentioned, yeah, there's still a number of trees to clean up. I've already green-lighted a contractor to go around and try to get on the high broken branches that are kind of precariously hanging. So they've been instructed to drive every single street and look for widowmakers and get those cut and removed for us, just as we have no means to remove that. Dust control has not been ordered yet. In a normal year, we probably would have applied this many weeks ago, but with all the moisture we've been receiving, I've paused, and I still don't know when I'll be ordering a second load of that stuff in, but I did speak to that contractor at your last A&M show.
Yes. Yes.
Quite some time ago. And they were prepped and ready to go then, but yeah, we've just had a lot of moisture ever since, so.
Okay, any questions for our manager?
Just to touch on the tree issue, and I know it's a very fast-moving thing. I do know Neepawa Minor Ball had some damage. They are hosting provincials out on that site, so in terms of if there's potential, I think, just to help that group, they were putting together volunteer crews to get trees cut, but somehow to help them get that ready because they've got teams coming in from around the province starting Friday. So it's the first time they've hosted provincials in 5 years.
Okay.
So
just a quick question about the asphalt machine. Do we still like put some fill in and then top it up with that machine, or does the machine do it all?
Machine does it all. So it'll blow out any loose material, and then we spray the tar in there, emulsion, and then it's a combination of the aggregate and the emulsion going together. So you just kind of mix it as it works, and it's a rapid setting emulsion, so it hardens up. Once it's exposed to the air and sunlight, it has its chemical reaction and hardens.
Right. So we won't see it come apart. It should stick
It
together.
should stay in there pretty sturdy. I think it's actually probably a better product than going with hot mix because it has a better bond temperature.
Next up, we have sidewalk and concrete repairs. Mr. Sakay.
Same thing, this one here I posted locally on our social media page, I posted on our town website, and also I put it on Merck's. We had probably, I think, 45 downloads on Merck's, and I said I reached out and did invitational to as many of the contacts that I had on my phone locally, just so that they had the heads up as well. We ended up receiving 7 bids. 2 were non-compliant. One's a late arrival, one's missing information. I'm going to spread, and I also broke the 2 quote requests into just strictly concrete repairs and also just new work, so that if one job was too big or too small for a company, they could choose to bid only one if they wanted. Everyone that bid decided to go for each component. So our low bid is a local bid for chisel construction of $116,630 plus tax to complete both new sidewalk installation and concrete repairs around town.
Okay, questions from council?
We've worked with this contractor before, right?
Correct, they just did the concrete work at the pool.
And we're happy with the work.
Good.
They were very good too.
Excellent. And
Yeah.
local, that's very
To
local.
ensure that it was done before the pool opened, they
Yeah, between the
actually
rain,
stepped up
yeah.
for us.
One comment, you know, when we saw the tenders go out, there was some concern because people thought it was a late posting. It's nice to see, I mean, us knowing how the concrete work falls up typically on sidewalks, that we had a great selection of contractors to pick from in that case. It was fantastic.
Perfect. Okay, with that, be it resolved that we accept the bid of Chisel Construction to complete the sidewalk installation projects identified for 2024, as well as additional concrete and sidewalk repairs for a quoted amount of $116,630 plus tax. Moved by Councillor Sicily, seconded by Councillor Pottinger. All those in favor? That is carried.
Council has received a petition and letter of support from local residents to encourage the expansion of the Buds and Bloom daycare. It was recently revealed that the waiting list for daycare spots in town exceeds 200 people. Council and the community are very much on the same page about the need for more daycare spots, which includes not only facilities but also caregivers.
Next up, Samantha Jury for the Neepawa area residents. The letter of support, a petition for Buds and Bloom Early Learning Center expansion.
So council received this and they are dubbing it as a petition, and technically it is a signatures on list, but under the authority of the Municipal Act, formal petitions have to be formulated and registered in a certain fashion. So we'll still call it a petition, but really it's looking for support of council. They're writing on behalf of a group of concerned residents to present information basically advocating for the expansion of Buds and Bloom Early Learning Center's facility. And they think this would be very beneficial for the community. They want you to consider this information at the next council meeting, which is tonight, and take some initiative to take the necessary steps to expand the daycare facility over there, because it would have a positive impact on the community. Just to add to this, before I read the letter of support that went around with getting the signatures, is the fact that they did speak to us here a few weeks ago and spoke about there being a waiting list of 200 plus kids. So I think council was very interested in learning all that information from there. And I'll quickly read the letter. We're writing to express our strong support for the expansion of Buds and Bloom Early Learning Center in our community. As residents in and around the community of Neepawa, we believe that this initiative will bring significant benefits and enhance the quality of life for all residents in the community. The proposed expansion aims to address the barriers associated with returning to work and contributing to the success of the community after having a child, which is an ongoing concern for many of us. For example, there are 17 physicians needing to adequately staff the new regional hospital, and in turn our community. Implementing this child care facility expansion will make the community of Neepawa more appealing for physicians with young families to move to our rural community. The same can be said for teachers, nurses, lab technicians, dietitians, physiotherapists, occupational therapists, trades workers, retail workers, high-level employees, wait staff, and various other essential professions crucial for sustaining a community. One of the key advantages of this change will combat the ongoing concern for so many families, which is having to decide between staying at home with our children due to limited space in daycare facilities and returning to work. Our enthusiasm for this initiative and from the support from the community is evident in the petitions that are attached. There's strong collective desire to see this change implemented. In conclusion, we wholeheartedly support the expansion of Buds and Bloom Early Learning Center and urge you to consider the numerous benefits it will bring to the community. We are confident that with your support, we can make Neepawa a better place for all residents. Thank you for attention to this important matter. We look forward to seeing positive changes in all our community.
I'm glad to see so many people on the same page as council. When we listened to the presentation that night, I think we were all very much, we knew it was a need, but we didn't know the numbers as far as waiting list and that sort of thing. It was all anecdotal, and it was good to hear from Donna that night and the supporters she brought with us, and to see this many people as passionate about seeing this happen as we are really bodes well for the continuation of quality childcare in the town of Neepawa.
I just add to that, and after the presentation, spoke with people who are involved in some of the early child care in the community, and recognize that there's a lot of issues facing it, whether it be spots, it's also the number of caregivers and getting training, and there's been support from the community with the early child care program in the community as well, and really look forward to going forward with due process so that we can help facilitate expansion of early child care in the community.
For sure.
Yes, and just so you know, it was very well received. And I did reply to that email, and the part that hasn't been mentioned is logistics take time, as we all become aware when redistribution of property line zoning and land planning proceeds, and all the events that must occur in order to help bring this to fruition. And one of the things that was also mentioned is the early childhood training. So we have provided a training center to enhance the ability to train in Neepawa, and I believe our Economic Development Officer, Marilyn Crew, has in fact lined up the training for early childhood. So we are in fact very supportive of the daycare program here.
Also covered were an agreement to extend natural gas service throughout the Eastern Industrial Park, Evergreen Environmental's annual financial statements, the annual Municipal and Northern Relations Operating Grant, Neepawa Fire Hall paving project, and a subdivision request on Brown Avenue. The town also notes that more volunteers are needed to help with the Canada Day festivities, and Councillor Sisley also encouraged her fellow councillors to lead by example and volunteer for the event themselves if they are able. If you have comments, questions, or topics that NACTV can be clarified or expand on, please contact us at 204-476-2639 or by email at nactvnews@gmail.com. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you next time.